It's not just cuddling puppies and kittens. It's all.
It's not. It's not at all.
You might get a minute or two of that, but
when I first,
you're chasing dogs, chasing cats.
When I first started volunteering, I was like, oh, this is like so easy. I can do this, and which I can do it, but it's not as easy as it looks when we're in there like doing everything we're doing. It really truly is a lot, and I don't think a lot of people know truly how much goes into helping a shelter run. So.
Hey there, I'm Graham Parker, and this is the Around Pickens podcast. You know, when it comes to governments, I think we can safely say that their bare, basic purpose is to protect everyone living in its jurisdiction and provide the best quality of life that it can. Here in America, that's supposed to apply to every kind of group that there is. No matter how big or small they are, no one should be overlooked. However, the truth is that there is a group of residents amongst us that do oftentimes get overlooked. They don't speak up for themselves, they don't clean up after themselves, and they certainly don't pay any taxes. But even so, we welcome them into our homes because they give us companionship and they're important parts of our families. I am, of course, talking about animals. Dogs and cats, horses and goats, every kind of creature there is has needs that need to be met. And here at the Pickens County government, we have an obligation to make sure that those needs are being met. The two primary ways that we see to that is through our animal control officers and our animal shelter. And today, we're going to hear from two people who work in those fields. Emily Narin is our new animal shelter director, and she has got a big heart for animals. Before coming into the job, she was actively volunteering with animal groups at Gilmer, Fannin, Dawson, and right here at Pickens. Get this, she even has a farm with about 130 rescue animals she looks after, so she clearly doesn't mind taking her work home with her. Also joining us is Harley Johnson, who works alongside Emily and our marshal's office as an animal control officer. Harley has been on the job since last September, which might not seem like a long time, but she's seen quite a few changes since then. The other day, the three of us had a pretty informal conversation that covered a pretty wide variety of topics, including how the shelter operates, how it partners with local organizations, and about their goals to improve operations and volunteer programs. I learned quite a lot from the discussion, and hopefully you will too. So, stick around and let's hear what Emily and Harley had to say about our animal shelter. So, Emily, Harley, I appreciate you joining me today. We're recording the day after Memorial Day, so if your department is anything like everybody else's department in this building, we're all trying to catch up after the long weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, it's been one of those days.
I believe it. Well, since you guys work with animals day in and day out, I know you must have a personal connection to animals. I'm just curious, what's your background like and how'd you end up in the positions that y'all are?
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
So I have actually always loved animals since I was a kid. I didn't start off with being in like an animal shelter or anything. I was in college and I had to do volunteer work for one of my classes. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to go do it at the shelter. So I went to the animal shelter. I had to do, I think, about 25 hours or something like that. So I did all of that. And then once they had a position open up, I told them, I was like, I want to work there. Like that, I never thought about that being a job for me, but I don't know why, because I've always loved animals. But so then they reached out to me and they were like, hey, we have a position open. And so I then took on animal control. So I've been here since September. I started in September. So that's how I kind of got into the role of being animal control and working for Pickens County.
So did you come in as an animal control officer or did you have to work up to it?
No, sir. I started off as animal control.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's pretty much about how I've gotten into it. So it's a lot of fun, though. I love it.
How about you, Emily?
Similar as Harley, I've always had a thing with animals since I was little. As a pre-K kid going to school here in Pickens County, we picked up a dog in the parking lot and brought it home. And I had that dog until I was pregnant with my second kid. I think I was 22 years old. So I've always really had a thing for animals. I've always volunteered, always been a part of the local groups, Angels Among Us being a couple of them, the shelters. I always got into fostering, but I really didn't take off into the animal community until COVID started. When COVID started, I lost my job as a waitress. I was sitting at home raising a baby. I was bored. I had nothing to do. I was one of those, like I was spending my money faster than I was making it sitting at home. So I got into fostering. Everybody was turning their animals in thinking they had COVID. So we ended up having like up to 30 cats. We had quite a few dogs in the house. During that time, I decided that was something I wanted to run with. So we ended up buying a farm. Bought a farm and really took off. And I was working as a hospice aide. I mean, I was hospice, I was in assisted living, I was in nursing home, not in the animal world full time for my job, but I saw the opening for the director position and I was like, as a joke, I'm going to apply. And then they called me and I was like, oh, maybe it's not a joke. So they called me and I did my couple of interviews and I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody. It's never going to happen. There's no way. My background is more in nursing. I mean, I worked as a vet tech back in high school, but that was 10 plus years ago. I didn't think they would take me seriously 10, years later, but they did. So I got into this role. And as I'm working on doing rescue at my farm, I'm also working with the shelter.
Wow. So you mentioned volunteering for shelters. Had you volunteered at the Pickens shelter before?
Not like coming in and volunteering because I did have little kids that would be too hard to do that with. I just did it as a foster. Okay. So I would pull them into my home.
I got you. Well, let me ask you, when you were interviewing for the job and you were learning more about the shelter, in your mind, were there things that you knew you wanted to change coming into the job?
Yeah, so I was a part of quite a few of the group chats and emails and a big community of volunteers, so I knew kind of what things were going on. And I just had a lot of ideas. I think I kind of aggressively went at this during my interview with a list of ideas that I had of things that I wanted to change and be a part of and things I was really going to push for. One of those being rescues and transport and getting the dogs out because I know our group here is so small. We can't really get the animals out the way that in my head I think it should go. So that was one of my bigger things is working on like doggy days out and getting them transported and just getting them out. Our shelter should be like a pit stop. It shouldn't be a long-term spot.
Yeah.
It's not set up for that. We don't have that. It's used for that because we don't have the connections, but it's not what it should be.
Yeah.
So that was one of my bigger things that I pushed with Chris.
I got you. Well, before we get any further into the conversation, I think it may be helpful for those who haven't visited the shelter to sort of get an idea of what it looks like and what goes on there. So could you just sort of walk us through what the facilities are like and the staff that help keep it running day by day?
Yeah. So in the mornings, we get there at like 8 o'clock. We go in and we feed the dogs. And then after that, we wait a little bit and then we automatically go in and start cleaning the kennels. We start on dogs because we have around how many dogs right now?
38.
38. We have 38 dogs. So we have 2 employees that will start on dog population, and then we have other 2 employees, which are Elizabeth Collins and Caitlin Emery and Michaela Mumphrey, and we all kind of tag team dogs because dogs take longer, and then we move into cats, and then Emily will fill in, wherever we need her to do because she has all the director stuff to do, so she just fills in kind of where we need her to, and then we will go in, get everything cleaned, and then as we're cleaning, we're letting dogs out. That way they can get exercise through the day. We do have a ton of toys that we give them on like rainy days and stuff where we're not able to take them outside. We'll give them like an exercise toy or anything like that. And then after that, we have the animal control officers. We have to go run calls. So that's what we're doing. And then Emily and Michaela and Caitlin, they'll all stay there and kind of scoop kennels and re-clean if we have to. And then around 3:30, 4-ish, we'll go back there and feed again. And then we'll do like the same thing over and over again. It's more so, it's easier to kind of tell somebody how we do things, but we've been talking for a while about doing a kind of like a video of a day in the life at the shelter. Me and Emily were actually just talking about this today along with the other girls, taking kind of like videos of how we do things and how we go about things with the dogs and, where we take them to exercise at. But we've been trying to do that because it's kind of hard to tell somebody how we do things, right? Because we could show them like in a video perspective better than just like kind of saying it. Because there's a lot of like details that go into it other than just like we go in and clean and it sounds like we don't.
It's a lot of repetition, but there's a lot of things that pop up in the middle of that. So you think you're putting a dog on the leash to walk outside and something happens over here and you have to put this dog up and go deal with that. So it's a lot easier to do a vlog, the day in the life of the employee, see what we're doing. But basically we go in and we split up in teams and we tag team. We try to stick in pairs of 2. It's a lot easier to do things in pairs of 2. So we stick in there and do that. And then whoever the 5th person is, which is usually me, or if somebody's not feeling that hot that day, they stick out and they do office stuff or laundry or whatever. When we walk in, our initial thing that we have to do in the morning is make sure every animal is okay. before doing anything.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we do all day long. We constantly do walkthroughs and
Yeah.
check on them, make sure they're okay, make sure they have water, make sure they haven't made a mess in their run, make sure they haven't escaped.
Yeah.
Volunteers come in the middle of all this. We have to stop and
Yeah.
deal with that. If somebody comes in for an adoption, we stop and deal with that. So it's hard to explain. There is a schedule, but there is a lot of things.
Yeah, like we have a written down schedule of everything that we do. And that would probably be a little easier than us telling too, because some days are different than others, like some days we'll be, it's like crazy with animal control, and that person has to go run 3 calls before they can get back and, help the other 4 people. So it's just, it would be so much easier if we could just like do a day in the life of the shelter. That way we could really, truly explain to the community what we do. That way they could understand like how it is at the shelter.
Yeah, it's not just cuddling puppies and kittens.
It's
at
really,
all.
It's not. It's not at all.
You might get a minute or 2 of that, but
When I first-
you're chasing dogs, chasing cats,
When I first
scooping
started
litter.
volunteering, I was like, oh, this is like so easy. I can do this, and which I can do it, but it's not as easy as it looks when we're in there like doing everything we're doing. It really truly is a lot, and I don't think a lot of people know truly how much goes into helping a shelter run. So.
Yeah, we definitely don't get paid to cuddle animals all day.
We
That's
do
for
not.
sure.
We
We
do
wish
not.
we did, but we do not.
Yes.
Well, I think people would love to see those nitty-gritty details. What social media platforms would you be putting that out on?
Likely our Facebook, but we have talked about opening up a
Yes.
TikTok account.
I actually did start up one. I'm trying to get all of the correct stuff to use, like the microphones and stuff like that. That way you can hear us, because when you're in the back with dogs, they constantly bark. So you can't hear unless you have like a microphone on or something.
We'll probably pull you in for this because you seem to be, you specialize in this. We do not.
Oh, boy.
We're just following our TikTok dreams over here.
Yes. So we did download TikTok. I got that set up. So we're hoping to get that up and running. And hopefully, because I know that TikTok has a lot of a platform. I mean, it has a lot of people on it. So I'm hoping we'll do it. We'll be able to do it on that too.
On there.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we would also share it with our Facebook and our
Yeah.
local community group.
Yes.
Well, for anybody listening, check the link in our description. We'll have links to all those social media pages. But let me ask you, in addition to the staff that help run the shelter day to day, I know a big part of your success comes with your partnerships with local organizations. So tell us about some of those organizations you're partnered with, and what sort of work do y'all do together?
Okay, so we have recently partnered with Pickens, which is our local pet store there by Kroger, and our partnership with them is strictly with cats. They allow us to take in 2 cats at a time, and they help us adopt them out. They socialize them while they're there. They feed them, they clean them, they adopt them out, and they just text us when they're done. We have a really simple, cut and dry relationship with PetSense. We also kind of partnered with BCAR. They're up in Big Canoe. We've talked a lot to Jodette. Jodette has been an absolute angel to the animals and us as staff members. She actually donated a washer to us recently, new dog beds to the dogs, new enrichment toys.
Yep.
She's been helping us network out dogs. They also, when they have space in their kennels, will pull animals from us, and vice versa. If they don't have room, they reach out to us. We have a very good relationship as far as communication back and forth, just doing what we can to help what we can. We also work with Homeward Bound. They're up in Blue Ridge, I believe. And they similar concept. They kind of help us with fundraising if we need it. They'll help us pull animals. We'll help them. We worked with the Rescue Ranch a good bit here in Talking Rock. Similar situation, pulling animals. Somebody's missing an animal. We just communicate back and forth. A lot of it is just communication and helping each other. Who has room? Who can pull this? It's just one big network of fosters. Who has a kennel open? Other than that, partners with Pickens with Judy Moody. We've done a lot with her. She has a foster cat of ours right now with the kittens. She kind of just gives us an extra kennel in her house to run some animals out of.
It's kitten season right now, so we've definitely been relying on Judy.
Kittens are coming out of I don't even know where at this point. There are kittens everywhere, and Judy has been a great asset, as has PetSense, because cats are hard to adopt out. I mean, people don't think to come to the shelter and look at every little cat, but if they walk into a pet store to get some food or whatever, and a cat's there, or Judy Moody, who has a huge platform for cats, it's been great to be able to utilize those.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, absolutely. But I would love to grow more and get partners with some rescues farther out. I mean, the more the better.
Well, yeah, we've looked at some just to see, because we have a lot of pit bulls that we're trying to find, like, ones within like a pit bull rescue.
Breed specific.
Yeah, breed specific. So we're in the works of trying to do that. We've emailed a couple of them. We're still waiting to hear some responses so we can get some of these dogs transferred out.
But that's the thing, as we grow, it will grow.
Yeah.
We have to build ourselves
Yeah.
before they can come in.
Well, it sounds like it's a pretty tight-knit community. It's good to know there's just so many people that care.
There's a lot. We're very blessed as far as when it comes to people that are willing to help us, especially with everything that Jodette has gave us here lately. I mean,
Jodette has been a blessing.
Yeah, and so we've had a lot, even like within the community. Like we posted on Facebook that we needed wet food for the kittens, and
We have 4 kennels full of cat food right now, and more coming every single day.
So
the community definitely cares.
Yes, they definitely care for any needs that we need. They've always been pretty good about helping us out. So
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about just individual volunteers. I know that's another big part of what you guys do. What is your volunteer base like? Do you have any volunteer-specific programs that you run?
So our volunteer program is something that we're working on heavily right now. We would love to rely on volunteers more here in the future. However, at the moment, we do have a smaller group. So to sign up as a volunteer at the moment, they just come in, they fill out a little brief survey, they give us a copy of their driver's license, and we have a quick little talk about what they're comfortable with, what they're not comfortable with. And then we kind of just give them a tour of the facility. And then we ask at the end of the tour, what did you like? Where would you like to start? And we kind of just hold their hand through the process.
Yeah.
They want to take dogs out and play with them, they can. They want to go play with some kittens, they can. Laundry, cleaning. If they're not comfortable in our facility or we have too many volunteers going on that day, they're welcome to check the dog out and go to the park, which is something that I would absolutely love to do more of. Dogs are totally different outside of the shelter. So you really don't get a good idea of what that dog's personality is until they're outside of the shelter.
Yeah.
I feel like in the shelter they feel like they have their walls up. Their guard is always there. Whereas when you take them to the park and you're playing with them, you see those things just kind of slowly go away and their personality really comes out. So that's something I would love to do. Once we can get volunteers really coming in and get established with a group of volunteers, I would love to talk to a few of them about doing short-term fosters, meaning maybe you come in and you take the dog for a week or a long weekend, and at the end of that, you just come back and you give me a report card on that animal and let me know this dog absolutely loved my kids, didn't like my cat, or vice versa, just so we can give the potential adopters a better idea.
Yeah.
We don't, in the shelter,
because it's kind of hard for us to even, we can tell, if this dog is dog aggressive in the, kennel, they like to kennel fight, but we don't really know what they're like outside of that because they've never been separated from the shelter to go out anywhere. Right. Especially the ones that have been there the longest, because they've just been in the shelter. So it's kind of hard.
All they know. They don't know life outside of that for a little bit. So it would help. And I know fostering is a lot. I know. But taking it for 2 or 3 days, and a lot of people think that that's not a good thing, to pull them out and then bring them back. We're going to throw them back even further than what they already are, but it's not true. There are plenty of studies out there that show it helps their anxiety levels. And when those levels come down, we see the true colors of what that dog is. Yeah. Which really helps us find them.
My dog is actually one of the ones, I had started working here, I got her on my 3rd day, and I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be bad. Yeah. But she was terrible in the shelter, and I was like, yep, that's the dog I want. And so I brought her out and I took her home. Best dog I've ever had in my entire life. And it's because it's the shelter atmosphere. People are like, is it really? And I'm like, yes, it is. It truly, that is a thing. There's no, it really is. If you take them out somewhere, they're a different dog. I'm telling you. You don't even realize, you're like, oh, where did this dog come from? So
6 of our dogs came from similar situations, if not the Pickens shelter. Yeah. 2 of ours did come from the Pickens shelter, and they had some issues.
Yeah, that's how mine was. Best dog ever. Now she's dog friendly. When I first got her, she wasn't. She is the most playful thing. She's great now. So it's easier. If they got out of the shelter, they would be a totally different dog.
I think that would be one of the biggest things the community could help us do.
Yes.
Is help get some of these dogs outside of the shelter. Yes, it's great to come in there and help us exercise them on a day-to-day basis, but one of the bigger things that we need is these dogs outside of the shelter. Yeah. We need them to go to the park. We need them to have long weekends. We need them to go be around kids, other dogs, cats, farm animals if we can. Expose them to as much as possible outside of the shelter. I would love to do that
Yeah,
with the
me
community.
too.
It's hard for us to do it. I mean, we're there so much.
We talk about it a day after day, and then that day comes up, and we're like, we have a million things going on within the shelter. So, and we've had a lot of people come up and talk about taking the dogs like for a hike, or like, you know, two that can go in a pair, taking them somewhere. And we've also had a guy that will come in and he'll come get Stanley, and he'll take him to the lake and stuff like that, and he loves it. And he'll come back and he'll be so wore out. He loves
He's
it.
wore out. He's happy.
Yeah.
He's a different dog when he comes back.
Yep.
But now that it's warm, that would be a good thing. Kids are out of school.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home moms with their kids.
Yes.
Go to the lake. Take a dog.
Yeah.
Take a dog.
Yeah. So
Go hiking. Guard dog.
guard dog.
Wow, I really love this idea of short-term fosters because you're right. You know, dogs weren't meant to thrive in a shelter. They're meant to thrive with families.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. It's an overwhelming atmosphere. Like some of them they'll just hide in the back of their kennel because it's so loud, and you know all the dogs
Gets the best of them. They just bark.
Yeah. So they're so. Like, they have so much energy, and we'll take them out, and we'll have volunteers take them out again, and they still have so much energy, and it's because they're in the kennel, so they're not able to like run and like play as much as they want to. So it breaks my heart for them. But I just hope that, you know, we do get some more people that would like to come and do that foster, like how we've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people would love to. But what's the process of fostering a dog?
So if we were going to do something like a long weekend or a week, the process would be a little different than just coming in and volunteering. So that would be basically like a foster. You would come in and we would do a home inspection, which basically just checks a few things off of our list. We have a conversation about your pest control. Really simple. It's really not invasive at all. And then we just talk about what needs you need. Do you need a cage? Do you need leashes and collars? Do you need food, beds? Whatever you need in your home, we're happy to provide. So it's basically just making sure that you're set up, we're set up, we're all on the same page, give some contact information.
We have some really good fosters too right now that they know, like, if they ever need anything at all, even like food or anything, they'll reach out to us, and we give them our personal phone numbers just in case something was to happen overnight and they did need us. They could always get in contact with us.
Well,
right, and we're there to support them with whatever.
Yeah,
whether
because
it's a need or an emergency comes up or whatever, we're there. Harley has actually personally met somebody after hours. I'm going to say 8:30, 9 o'clock, because it just wasn't working out.
Yeah,
so she met her back up at the shelter, and we took the dog back into our possession, and it just wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
But we were there to help. We don't want them to feel like once they take that dog that they're on their own until they bring it back.
Yeah.
We're 100% there to hold their hand and support them through the entire process.
Yeah, because we're just very grateful that they're even taking the time to do that kind of stuff for us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realize that you supported people as much with that. Is there a way for people to donate supplies to you to keep that going?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's a big thing that we've started. We actually have a shed that is meant for supplies, so we have crates and puppy playpens and whatever kind of needs we could use out there, and then we also have a closet inside the shelter that is just for food, and that's not just for fosters, but that's also for anybody that runs on hardship that can't afford to feed their dog that week. We don't want it to come down to, is it me eating or the dog eating? I don't want them to feel like they have to get rid of their best friend because their paycheck was short that week or whatever happened that week. So we have tubs set aside for things like that, and it's for foster use, for hardships, anything like that. Yeah. We're happy to help with whatever we can. But yes, any kind of dry food, wet food, crates, playpens, dog igloos, fencing, anything, honestly, we could use. We've run into situations where dogs were off property. They couldn't afford the fencing. They love their dogs, but they couldn't afford the fencing. If we have donations of fencing, we're happy to donate it. We're happy to help. Dog igloos, they're expensive. If you have one that's sitting out rotting in the woods, we'll take it. We'll put it to good use. We'll either use it at the shelter or use it for somebody who needs it.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a lot of ACO cases where we have had to. I've actually personally had told them if you need food, then you can come to the shelter. We're more than happy to help in that aspect with anything within the community as far as the way that we can give back, because people are always so good to us. So.
But the only way to keep that program going is donations.
Yes,
we do strictly use that off of donations.
We do have a Amazon account as well, and
a Chewy account.
A Chewy account, yes. So. We'll also give you those links to put on there as well, that we have some stuff that we have on there that we needed.
Yeah, and a lot of that is for the shelter dogs, but we do have other items on there that are for the community.
Yeah.
For when we can help out.
Okay, well, summing up everything we talked about, can you just sort of tell me what are the shelter's biggest goals right now? What challenges are you facing, and how can the public help you meet them?
Let's see. Our biggest challenges right now is 38 dogs in the back that we really truly don't have a good temperament test on. We really need the community's help to pull those dogs out of the shelter to temperament test them so we can get a better idea of what rescue I need to be looking at, or what potential home I need to be looking at, or do I need to get a trainer in? That's another thing. We have people that are willing to come in and donate their time to train these dogs, but I don't want to, it's overwhelming. I don't want them to come in and be like, I have 38 dogs, I need you to go train, because that's likely not the true story.
Yeah.
I probably only need a fraction of those dogs to be trained. Those dogs just need a chance to come out. So that's one of the biggest things that the community can help us with, one of our biggest needs. Aside from that, what do you think?
Like biggest needs?
Volunteers.
Volunteers. We do need some volunteers. You know, you think about all these things like when you're not doing this.
But the biggest thing that the community can help us with is coming in and volunteering their time. And even if that's, I have an extra hour. I'm going to run a dog to Home Depot and walk around Home Depot for an hour and just see how he does around the public, general public. Anything like that would help.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
Or even if they don't want to take them anywhere, like we have a front yard, a backyard, they could walk them, like they could go out there and just see how they are and play with them and socialize. Yeah. We do, you know, we have a lot of dogs right now that we're struggling getting them out. And then we get them out and they come right back because they had things that we didn't catch quick enough. We had no idea. So that's one of the biggest things that we're struggling with right now. So
I gotcha. Well, that was really all the questions that I had. Is there any final message you'd like to give to the public?
Just that we're open to help with anything that we can, and the more the community can help us, the more we can help them.
And we are trying our best.
It is overwhelming, but we are trying our best.
And I know from an ACO point, it's been a lot here lately, and we've been trying to, you know, catch up on a lot of things and get all these ACO calls ran. So I just want the community to know that we are trying our best to do everything that they need and to get out there as soon as possible. So I just want to say thank you to them as well for being patient and allowing us to do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, well, I think I can definitely speak on behalf of the community and say we appreciate what you do. We know it's a big job, but definitely much appreciated.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
But on that note, we're going to wrap up this episode of the Around Pickens podcast. As always, I've been your host, Grant Parker.
Harley Johnson.
And Emily Narin.
And we'll see you around.